What's going on, YouTube? Matthew back here with you today. It's been a while since I've done a video. It's been probably going on close to 2 months now, maybe a month and a half, not sure. But anyway, my last video, or my last couple of videos, I talked a little bit about some stuff going on in the hobby that was kind of causing me to really feel about like I did back in the 90s when I got out of the hobby, or I got out of collecting at that time. But anyway, I've had a few things come in. This all has came in the last week. My birthday was last week. And I got a couple of things here that I'm going to show in this video that came in because of my birthday. Um, there's TTM that came in this past week. All of this stuff come in this week, and I haven't opened it. I've been so busy. Had a lot of stuff got a lot of stuff going on. Me and Roseanne have a lot going on. Roseanne's having uh, some doctor's appointments, consultation, eye surgery coming up in the next month, and just been real busy. Summer's here now, or the weather here in Northeast Ohio is more like spring, early spring actually. Seems more like March, but anyway, yard mowing time, a lot of stuff going on. It just seems like just struggling to get caught up. Living in the north, a lot of things you have to put off doing around your home until summer. So when summer comes, every free minute you got, you're trying to, at least for me, it seems like, especially in the spring, I'm trying to get everything caught up. You get salt on your vehicles over the course of the winter. You're wanting to give those things a good scrub down, try to get up underneath of them as best you can, spraying out salt. And then you got, basically any kind of repairs, anything you want to do, home improvement, stuff like that. It's so cold up here in the winter, you have to wait till spring. So anyway, enough of that. But anyway, I got several packages here that I'm going to open in this video. And I guess I'll start with this. This is a couple of old starting lineups. I know one of these is from the original first starting lineups, the year that they did them, the first year they did them. I think that the second one is the second year they did them. These were actually my mother's, and she lives in North Carolina now, down in Westfield, North Carolina, and she mailed me all of these, or both of these, in a package with a birthday present. And I don't know why she sent them to me. At first, I was like, why did Mom send me these? Because she knows I really never cared for this guy, even though at one time, back when these were made, he was the biggest star in all of Major League Baseball. That was before the steroid scandal broke out and everybody found out this guy used steroids. But this was my mom's favorite player, and she collected his cards. She liked him because, honestly, my mom thought he was good looking, and she collected stuff from him. And these are not in the best shape. My mom never opened these, but they're very dusty. And this one right here looks like it's over time had maybe something spilt on top of the plastic. But anyway, there's the first one, Jose Canseco, my mom's favorite player. Still got the original Toys R Us sticker on the bottom, which Toys R Us no longer exists. That might be worth more than the Jose Canseco, just a Toys R Us tag. But anyway, a little dusty, but still never been opened. And Mom said, I called her, I asked her, why are you sending me these? And here's the second one. This one actually is not the second year they did them. This is from 1991 because it says it up there. It's got the coin. Got a coin in there with Canseco. Picture on the coin. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, Canseco, both of them. This one's probably it's just as dusty. But anyway, Mom said, she's getting older. She's like 70 now. She said, she hasn't even watched a baseball game in forever, in years. And she just decided she didn't want these anymore. And thought she would send them to me because she knew, I'd always collected. So anyway, there's that came in. I want to go ahead first and do this TTM. Now, this came back from North Texas, Texas. I'm pretty sure this is Daryl Evans, a guy that I write to about once a year. One of my favorite guys to send TTM to, mainly because he's always been a great signer and he was a great player. Um, and I was wrong. Mm, I knew I had one out for Daryl Evans, so that made me, when I seen it said North Texas, Texas, I thought it was Daryl Evans. This actually was Larry McWilliams, former longtime Pittsburgh Pirate. He played for the Cardinals. I think he played for Atlanta. Yep, played for Atlanta two different times. But anyway, McWilliams, and I needed this for the 88 top set. So this was from the 88 tops traded set. If you subscribe to my channel, you know I've been working a while now on a 88 tops project. Um, the 88 top set and the 88 tops traded set have been trying to put together an autograph set to get total of both, as many as I could get. And between the two sets together, there's 900 and some cards. I have at this point in the regular set, out of 792 cards, I got over 500 in the regular set signed, and I have about half of the traded set signed. So anyway, that's a surprise. Like I said, I seen the Texas address. I initially just assumed Daryl Evans, who I think I've sent like 3 cards to a while back, and I'd seen on SG. Oh, I've been so busy I can't even remember. Anyway, I've seen on a couple of websites I use that people were starting to get some returns back from Evans recently, so I figured mine would come any day. But anyway, that's a nice surprise. This guy actually charges $5 per autograph by mail now, so that's what I had to send him, and that's been out for a pretty good while because I'd actually done forgot about it. Anyway, on to the next package here. Not sure. Whoa, this is a graded. I know what this is. Authenticated card, PSA DNA authenticated. And if you've watched anything on my channel, you know I'm an autograph collector. I got this right here very, very cheap. To tell you the truth, $1 plus shipping. So it was an auction listing on eBay. Came across it. It was going to end in about 15 minutes one day. I just had logged into eBay. And I see that this bag, it needs a new bag because this one is split on the corners. What they done, they put this in a, I don't know, it looks like they put it in a bag. It was too small for the holder. No problem though, I've got bags, holder bags. But anyway, I got someone's just, well, this is actually, it says PSA on it. So it was a PSA bag. I don't know why it's splitting. Maybe just damage from handling. But anyway, it is Paul Quantrill, longtime Major League pitcher, autographed in blue Sharpie. Now, Quantrill's not that tough an autograph to get, but a card that's already PSA DNA authenticated of an autograph, even if it's a common player. This is him with the Red Sox, pictured on a, I believe this is score, but I believe this is 93. Yep, 93 score. A year I graduated high school. And Quantrill at that time was a decent young pitcher for the Red Sox. Um, the Red Sox, I know early in his career he was used as both a starter and reliever. He came up, yeah, he was a starter in the minors. Boston used him in the bullpen. But anyway, nice pickup. I actually bid on this. I got it for 99 cents plus shipping. Shipping was like $5. I mean, for a PSA DNA authenticated, you all know how much PSA charges to authenticate an autograph now. I'll take that. You know, I'm an autograph collector, so this is a nice little cheap uh, authenticated slab to throw in my collection. Is it worth a ton? No. But for an autograph collector like me, that's a bargain that I don't mind picking up at that price, you know. I wish, yeah, do I wish it was somebody else? Sure. But that's why it was $1 plus shipping, you know. At any rate, moving on. These, let's see, this one is the biggest one. Both of these were actually purchases from the same guy. Guy I purchased cards from many times in the past, named Ryan Harvey. Purchased a lot of lots of his in the past, and let's see, this is the guy that ships so good. Let me see if I can see what this is here, if I remember, because some of these is, man, like I said, it's been a while. This is a Florida Marlins lot. Total purchase $1.41 is what I paid for this, tax and all. Free shipping. Mr. Harvey's always free shipping on his lots. So let me see if I can get in this real quick. Not always that easy. This is currently Tuesday evening. I used to do most of my videos in the morning while I was drinking, or after. I used to do these in the morning. I'd be drinking morning coffee, but I've got out of doing videos recently, mainly because I just quit. I quit buying. I just said I'm getting out of it for a while. I had to, and I tell you the truth, I'm still not thrilled with the hobby, but a lot of this stuff here, like I'm still, I'd love to. Eventually, when I get over my frustration with the hobby, I'll get back into working on my 88 Tops project and try to finish that. That is something I'd love to leave to my family one day. Complete 88 Top. Like, why did I pick that set? Mainly because I've been doing TTMs for years, collecting through the mail autographs and just autographs in general. And one day I just realized, like a lot of people do sets. They'll pick a set and they try to collect that set. And one day I thought, wonder why I've never done that? Because I'd always mainly done, it's just certain players that I really liked, or my favorite team, the Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Guardians. But one day I just thought I ought to do a set, and then I thought, well, wonder what set I want to do. And I thought at first about doing 1993 Tops because that was the year I graduated, and I was a Tops guy growing up. I collected baseball cards in a time when there was several companies, Fleer and Domus when I was young. Later, Upper Deck, Score, Pacific, you name it, it was out there. Bowman. Um, but I was a Tops kid growing up, and so anyway, and these right here, these are so cool, Mr. Harvey. If you're ever watching my channel, I love your shipping supplies. I reuse them. But anyway, this lot here, uh, this was a Florida Marlins lot, mostly commons. All of these cards he puts. Let me separate the cardboard. I'll reuse that cardboard down the road as well. But all these, he puts everything in brand new, pristine top loaders. I think this guy, I'm pretty sure this guy's a case breaker. Buys cases and busts them. But anyway, all these I say Miami Marlins lot. Jesus Luzardo. And these are this is 2022. None of these are going to be worth that much, I don't think. Dontrell Willis. I remember when he first came up, big time prospect, and he never did really pan out. I mean, he had a great year. I mean, he's like a Cy Young winner, and he ends up falling off into nothing. Jesus Sanchez, big time prospect, just a few years back, 3 or 4 years ago, was considered one of the best prospects in baseball. Somebody walking up the street there. This is just a basic standard base Tops Florida Marlins team card. You're kind of seeing why I got this lot for $1.41, but you're not seeing why I paid $1.41 tax and all for this lot. It was free shipping. Jose Salas. All of these cards right here, to be honest with you, I will reuse the top loads and penny sleeves because they're brand new, but these will go in a box of commons that I'll give away to some of these kids in the neighborhood. This is Jazz Chisholm, who is now a Yankee. Lewin Diaz, who is kind of a bust as a prospect. Florida gave him some run, but he never could really get it together. And this guy is a former big time prospect about 20 years ago or so. Jeremy Hermida autograph. This is a sticker autograph, I think. No. I'm sorry. That is actually an on card. It's kind of like this card is interesting. This is from 19. No, it's from 2002 Upper Deck, and I thought it was going to be 99 for some reason. But anyway, authentic signature, and it's kind of like a lot of relic cards or jersey cards. It's got like a cut out indentation. It's almost like that they cut a hole in the card and then slid in a piece of paper with his autograph on it. It's probably what they did. Probably made it that way. But anyway, this was right here to me was worth the $1.41. an autograph like that, pack pulled, you know, worth a couple of bucks. So that's why I bid $2 on the lot. And like I said, I'll reuse those. The other cards I'm probably going to give to some kids or something. But anyway, something like that. And that's what I've been doing lately is just if I, every once in a while, if I happen to see a bargain lot, I'll pick it up. Since I've done my last video, that's all. I mean, this is not everything that I have got in since my last video. Like I said, this is just the last week. Again, this lot here, another one from the same guy, Mr. Ryan Harvey. And this is a similar lot to that, but this one is all California Angels. And this one costed me a total of $1.85, tax and all, free shipping. So anyway, we will try to get this one open here and show it, and then we'll try to wrap up this video. I'm going to try to do a few more videos more often again. I'm going to get back into the video routine. How much I'm going to be buying, I don't know. I had said before I might be doing more about just baseball card talk in general, baseball card hobby or whatever, but I don't always have the time, and although I'm doing better than I was by far with my own health, Roseanne's got some issues with her, you know, she's got a surgery coming up, and you know, it's just a rough time right now. A lot on her, we got a lot on our plate right now, and you know, but we got through it. Me and her's been together a long time now. We've got through a lot, and we'll stand strong till the end together. Get through whatever comes our way best we can. Good Lord taking care of us. He's blessed us greatly, and cannot complain in any way. I'm sorry about this. I'm trying to, this is something I could do after the video, but I'm just trying to get the tape off because I reused these, and I'll have to let them go ahead and get them ready. All right, let me get one more thing here. Cardboard pieces out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he puts these in the middle of each top load so they don't get scratched. That is really a thorough collector. This lot here, that's the hit in the lot. Nice card here. This is a refractor, I believe. Let me see. It's new enough it's not going to say refractor. Topps used to stamp. If a card was a refractor, they would stamp it somewhere on a corner. I've got a lot of cards from the earlier 2000s. Indians, like a lot of Carlos Santana, stuff like that, back when he was young. When he first came up with Cleveland, Corey Kluber, stuff like that, that I actually say refractor on them, but I'm pretty sure this is a refractor. This is Nolan Schanuel, big time prospect. He was a high draft pick by California. Made it to the major leagues really quick. He seems like he might have a chance to be a decent player, but I don't know how long he'll last in the majors as a starter. And I'll tell you why. As he gets more expensive, approaches arbitration, he doesn't have a lot of power. He's more of an average hitter, and teams are not going to, in today's baseball, if you can't hit for power and you play a corner, you're pretty much limited to a corner infield position. You're going to have to do something besides hit 280, 290, 300. He does draw a lot of walks, but the power's not there. But this is a rookie card refractor. Decent card. It's not numbered, but it is a refractor. That's not the hit, though. Here is another nice looking card. Too bad this is a bust of a prospect. This guy at one time was ranked by a lot of places, a lot of sources as the #1 prospect in all of baseball. Joe Adele. Tremendous power, good speed. He's a tremendous athlete. Cannot hit, strike, too much swing and miss, too many holes in the swing. Taylor Ward, though, this is a guy that was a prospect and looked like he couldn't hit for a while and then finally put it all together. Turned into a solid major league player. Let's see here, moving on. Anthony Rendon, boy, there's a guy that came out of nowhere with the Washington Nationals, become a star. And then he got a big contract, big payday, and yeah, he's had some injuries, but he honestly has a very piss poor attitude. I'm not a big fan of cards like this because this is a modern card but it is of a player from when I was young. Jim Abbott, you know, famous for his days. I remember him as a first when he was a first round draft pick of the Angels. He was a star at the University of Michigan. They made a big deal about him because he's, you know, only one hand. He was born without, you know, a hand on his left hand, I believe, or no, on his right hand. I'm sorry, and yeah, he was a left-handed pitcher. I knew that, but but anyway, he's born without a right hand, and so as you see, the glove rest on his arm where his hand, you know, would have been. But anyway, he made it. He was a very good pitcher for a lot of years. Never nothing special. Not a Hall of Famer, nothing like that, not that caliber. But I've never been a fan. These companies. This is another reason that I really don't care as much about the hobby anymore. And my part of collecting is more older stuff. Vintage is because, or you know, autographs is because I don't really care. If I want a card of Jim Abbott, I don't want a modern card. I want cards from, you know, like his rookie cards, stuff like that back in the 80s. I don't need, you know, a modern card. And these card companies, how many cards do I need of, you know, it's just like, let's insert a Pete Rose. Let's insert a Cal Ripken. You know what? Donruss Optic, Tops, Chrome, whatever you want, you know, they're all full of crap like that. I'm just sick of it. But, here's Jared Walsh. At one time, I thought he was going to but turn into a real thumper in the big leagues, but not really done much, you know. Um, Kurt Suzuki, decent hitting catcher. I remember when he came up. I believe he came up with Oakland. Yep, I thought that was it. Came up with Oakland, or made it to the bigs with Oakland. He was a Japanese player, I believe. Elbows only, air high five. Justin Upton on that. Angels team card. Not really a big deal to me. And here's the hit in this lot, a Dan Herron patch card. This is from 2013 Topps, Gypsy Queen. And this is him, of course, with the Angels. And it's just a standard, basic, dull, plain Jane white patch. White relic, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, these kind of cards, I collect. Just, you know, if I get them cheap. So anyway, that plus the refractor, easily worth, and the brand new top was easily worth what I gave for those. So at any rate, that was what I've had come in last week. That was both of those lots, and then I had the authenticated Quantrill. That, like I said, I'm really thrilled to get that for a 99-cent bid plus shipping was like $4.95. And so, I mean, you're definitely not going to get any autograph authenticated in a PSA holder for $6 unless you buy it from somebody that was willing to take $6, you know, for it. After eBay fees, this seller was just trying to get rid of this, but I don't care. I'm an autograph collector, and so that's you know, that's a slabbed autograph that I will be glad to put in my collection, you know. This is the big one out of everything that come in this last week because it's for the 88 Topps set that that I've been working on. One step closer to completing that now, and that makes me happy. Um, that that might be what I needed to get back to encourage to want to you know get back to back in messing with the hobby a little bit more in my spare time when I can. But I will say this. I'm not going to mention the guy's name because he is one of the biggest card resellers in the entire hobby nationwide. He's got a tremendous YouTube following. He's got a tremendous um, TikTok following, which I don't use. No, I don't know. I've never had a TikTok account. Never will. I see no reason. It's no benefit to me whatsoever. This guy's also got a huge following on Twitter or X or whatever they call it. I don't use that either. But YouTube is pretty much about it for me other than Facebook. And I only use Facebook not as much as I did at one time because it's just not important to me. I'm not a kid, anymore. And to me, it was something that was fun when it was new. I wasn't a kid when it was new, but it was fun. it was interesting, especially touching bases with people I hadn't seen since high school. But now it's just kind of like, whatever. But at any rate, this guy, one of the biggest resellers, uh, he resells on eBay. He buys collections. He's got a partner. They travel all over the United States buying collections. And this guy doesn't want anything but high end. In other words, if you call him and you want to sell your collection, if you tell him I've got over 100 million baseball cards, spread out over storage buildings, and my house is full, my garages is full, all this stuff, he's going to show up. He's going to look at what you got. He's going to say, I don't want anything else. All I want is this right here, which is your top shelf stuff. He's looking for, you know, high end, as high as it gets. That's all he really wants. He will buy sometimes collections that have other stuff if it's the only way he can get the high end stuff. But all he's wanting is high end because he throws everything on eBay, starting bid, 1 cent, whatever, and he lets everybody bid it up. And there's been a lot of changes to eBay, so I haven't really been doing much. eBay is becoming less. If there's ever a way that eBay can figure out that will make them less user friendly and less, I mean, I'm not just talking about for sellers, I'm talking about for buyers. eBay is becoming to me, one of the most worst places to do business, regardless of whether you're a buyer or a seller. eBay's money back guarantee, in my opinion, is horse shit. And eBay, as far as I used to sell on eBay several years ago, um, and as far as I'm concerned, eBay does nothing to protect the seller. Uh, and as far as a lot of people will say, well, they protect the buyers. No, they don't. I bought something that I shouldn't have a couple of months ago um, because it was cheap, and because I'll be honest with you, I was trying to save a few bucks. The seller I made the mistake of looking at this item, seeing it was about to, it was an auction. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was a new in the box, is what it was advertised. It was in the original box. It had been, the guy was saying it was like new. It did look like new in the photos that he shared. It was a Sony DVD player. And me and Roseanne have got a lot of movies that we still love to rewatch again at times. She is a massive Al Pacino fan. And, the guy's been doing movies since the 70s. So she's got a ton of movies. And yeah, Godfather, all that, Scarface, all that. But she's got a ton of stuff that she loves. She was also a big Johnny Depp fan going back into the 90s. So she's got a lot of his stuff. She's a big Nicolas Cage fan. She's got her favorite actors, and she's got her favorite movies by certain, of those that she still has on DVD. And she doesn't want to have to go through and hunt through a streaming service to see if they've got an old movie, because a lot of times older stuff might be on there, but some stuff like there's some movies out there that's old enough now you can't even find them on a streaming service, but we've got them on DVD. She likes to be able to watch whatever, and I was going to buy this because I was wanting to get her a backup. We had two DVD players. One was a Blu-ray, one was a regular standard DVD player, and one gave out. And she's got the one upstairs, and I just wanted to get a backup. And instead of going and buying a brand new one, especially at like Walmart or somewhere, because everything Walmart sells is like off-brand junk. Yeah, they've got some, Magnavox, which is kind of middle of the road, to be honest with you, and stuff like that. Toshiba is really makes some long-lasting, good quality electronics. Sony, but a lot of stuff at Walmart's got Omni and stuff like that. Stay away from that. A lot of times they don't even work right out of the brand new box at Walmart. If you look at the reviews on even the Walmart website, they're horrible. And but anyway, I just thought I'd give this a shot because it was Sony. And the guy said test it. He had put tested, works great, like new, Only used a couple of times. You know, still had the original box, still had the manual in a plastic bag that it came in. And I bought it. I gave less than, it was something like tax. I got the winning bid plus the shipping and tax and all. It was like $14 and something is what I got it for. And I'm like, this is going to be a pretty good deal, even though it's used. The seller had like 99.1 positive feedback. I should have looked about the point one, but anyway, it comes. I open up the box. The first thing I noticed is this looks nothing like what I bought that was in the pictures, because what I was looking at in the pictures was like a clean looking, new looking DVD player. And this one was dust all over it. That's the first thing I noticed when I opened up the box. This thing is dusty. And I pull it out, and this was the funniest thing. It is a Sony DVD player. It is a Sony DVD player. It's smaller though and more compact than the one that was in the pictures I bid on eBay. And then the remote was for a Philips something or other, which does not go with a Sony DVD player. It said Philips on the remote, which was like an ancient remote. I believe it was a remote that would have went with a Philips television from probably the 90s or something. But at any rate, the remote did not go with the DVD player. This DVD player was one of the types too. It was small, compact. It did not have buttons to do anything. Like there was no play button, there was no this, there was no that. All it was an eject button. So you could not do anything by remote. But I'm like, well, let me see if it works, because for what I gave for it, if it works, I'm thinking I can get a universal remote for Sony, probably cheap, and, we'll make do with it as a secondary DVD player for downstairs. Anyway, long story short, I put a disc in it. It would not read the disc. I went through like 7 different movies. It would not pick up any of the disc. And these were movies that work fine. No scratches on them, none of that. So I get on eBay, I contact the seller. I tell him, the item description you got says blah, 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 blah. You know, and you send me the wrong DVD player. It's different than what's in the pictures. It doesn't work at all. You said that this was tested and it worked great, like new. None of that's true. I said the pictures you had is not the DVD player you sent me, and you sent me the wrong remote. And I get a message back, and he was like, "Sorry about that. I don't." And this was his entire message. Sorry about that. I don't accept returns. Well, eBay has changed this now to where it used to, if a seller sent you the wrong item, you just open up an item not as described case. The option to open an item not as described case is no longer there for a buyer. You have to go into the resolution. I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to call eBay, which is a hassle in itself, because if you've ever bought, sold, whatever on eBay, and you ever had a reason that you had to call eBay, you know what I'm talking about. You wait on hold sometimes for eternity. Well, I'm on hold, and then I finally get this guy. He can hardly understand English, what I'm saying, and I'm having to repeat myself over and over and over. And he puts me through to somebody else, and I get a woman then, and this woman, I couldn't quite understand her well, but she understood me, and she helps me to figure out that how to open up an item not as described case through the resolution center. So I opened one. All right. eBay automatically sends me a QR code, tells me to ship what I got back to the seller. So I put the player back that did not work back in the box. I put his Philips remote control back in the box. I tape the box back, just close the lids, tape the box together. I still got the label on there where it was shipped to me from him. I go up to my post office. I let them scan the QR code. They just print out a new label, and they just paste it right over top of the old label that he had put on the box. And I'm good to go. Well, 3 days later, it shows on tracking that he got the DVD player back. And I'm thinking, okay, it's telling me on every time I look at it in eBay, it would say seller has received item. You should receive your refund in 3 business days. 3 business days goes by. 4 business days goes by. 5 business days goes by. I haven't received any refund at all. And so I messaged it had an option like the only thing I could do was to reach out to the seller. eBay was trying to force they're trying more than ever to force buyers and sellers to work out a problem so that they don't have to pay employees to work it out for you. And so I'm the only option I got is to message. So I messaged the seller. I'm like, look, you got this back according to tracking like days ago. eBay keeps saying I should get my refund the next business day. I said every day it says the next business day, and I said to start with it was 3 business days. Then it was you should get your refund no later than tomorrow's date. Tomorrow would come, then it's no later than the next day's date. That day would come. Once again, you should get your refund no later. So I asked the seller. I was like, "Are you going to refund me or not? Because you've already got the item back." And you know what the seller then tries to pull on me? He goes, well, you didn't send the item that I shipped you back. Yes, I did. I sent him exactly what he shipped me. And he was like, no, I shipped you a blah, blah, blah. It's in the photographs on the item you purchased. That's what I shipped you. You shipped me back a different DVD player and a different remote. I'm like, no, I didn't. I sent you right back exactly what you sent me. And then the guy comes back again. He's like, well, I already told you I don't accept returns. So I really don't know why you shipped me this. So here I go, get back on the phone with eBay again, waiting on hold. Get somebody, I have to explain the whole thing because I'm talking to somebody that's totally different. Then they finally say, oh, yeah, they can see where I called somebody about it before. Then they say, oh, yeah, they can see where I had shipped it back to the seller. And then the guy's like, well, the seller, we give the seller like 3 business days to inspect the item to make sure, blah, blah, blah. And the seller has like 3 days to issue a refund before we'll step in. And I'm like, well, the seller got the item like a week ago, and it's been more than 3 business days. The seller is refusing to do anything. Okay, well, you can go into the resolution center. See, this is what makes it mad. Used to, if you talk to somebody on the phone with eBay, they would just go ahead and do it for you. I mean, as far as like if you needed to open up a case, if you needed to whatever, they would go ahead and do it for. They would say, okay, I'm going to escalate this now while you're on the phone. No, you know what he told me to do? You'll have to go into the resolution center and try to escalate it from there because there's nothing he could do. So at that point, I'm mad because I'm out 14. It's $14, but I'm mad at myself for even buying it. I've done had to ship it back. I've wasted all my gas going back to the post office, wasted all this time, and so I go back in the resolution center finally, and I could never find this stuff on my phone. If it wasn't for still having a laptop computer, I realize a lot of young people do not even know what a laptop computer is nowadays. They don't know what a desktop computer is. But because I was born before the year 2000, I still have a regular computer, a laptop computer in my home, a desktop computer in my home. And I was able to go online to the actual website, and that's where I found it in Resolution Center because it sure wasn't on the mobile app. And I go in and I ask there was an option to ask eBay to step in. And then I did that. And guess what? I waited another like 4 days. And then one day I get an email. eBay's refunded me. Well, I had paid with PayPal. And PayPal, puts the money back in my bank account. And that takes another, the way my bank is, it showed as pending at my bank, like on my online banking. It showed as pending for like another 3 or 4 business days after that. So altogether, it's just, even though it was just $14, it's just a hassle. eBay is too much of a hassle. And then after I got the refund, the seller is messaging me mad because he's saying, I told you I don't take refunds, so or I don't do take returns, I don't accept returns, I don't do refunds. Everything's as is. So since you escalated this to eBay, I'm blocking you. And I'm like, no problem. But the funny thing is, I seen that 99.1. Don't ever assume if somebody's got 99 point whatever that they're a legit seller. This seller actually, he had 99 point whatever, but the guy had not been selling that long on eBay. When I go back and I actually look at his feedback, the actual feedback, he was not like some kind of big time seller. He had a lot of stuff listed on eBay, but he also had he had several neutral feedbacks and he had a few negatives, and the negatives were all sent the wrong item. So every one of them sent wrong item or item not as described. So it pays to pay very much attention and watch who you're dealing with if it's a seller you're not used to, especially with electronics, which are there's a lot of people that sell sketchy electronics on eBay. They'll tell you, oh, tested, working, and they haven't tested anything. These flippers go to these yard sales, they buy crap. They give somebody, they know it doesn't work. They're even told by the person they buy it from, this doesn't work. They put it on eBay and they just put tested, working, blah, blah, blah. And then the way you know if you got a legit seller is to look at what else they've got listed. There is some legit sellers on eBay now that sell electronics, and the way you can tell, you go and you look at what they got, and if they've got five, for example, PlayStation video game systems listed, well, if they've got one that says parts, good for parts only, non-working, but then they've got another system that says tested and working, there's a very good chance that that system is working and it has been tested. Because if they're selling stuff that's listed as parts only, this is somebody that's trying to get as much money as they can for their items. They're testing them because they don't want the headache of having to accept returns. I don't know. I would not lie, about something like that because I wouldn't want to have to fool with the hassle of returns. And honestly, when a seller gets a return like that, the seller is the one that's out of shipping both ways. So, that can cut into your bottom line. So I don't really know why people are so dishonest on eBay, but there's a lot of them on there that's like that. Yeah, there is sellers. I mean, there is buyers that try to scam sellers, but there is a lot of scam sellers. Just like there is a lot of sellers on eBay right now. It really makes me mad how many people are selling fake autographs and not just of name players. I'm talking about there's so many people that's in the autograph collecting, hobby right now, like me, and they go on here and to eBay and they're looking for cards to complete a set, that they're working on. Set builders, autograph set builders, stuff like that. And you've got guys, I saw, for example, the other day, or no, this has been a few weeks ago, but Randy Myers is, if you're in the autograph hobby, Randy Myers, one of the hardest guys from the 80s, 90s to get to sign autographs. He does not do TTM. He does not even like to sign autographs in person. So it's very odd to find autograph cards of Randy Myers. And when you do, you're going to pay a premium unless the person that's got it doesn't know what they got. But this guy has a Randy Myers autographed 88 Topps card. Now, I need that card signed by Randy Myers, and I have never seen but like one or two other ones that were legit. And people were asking way more than it would be worth to me, even though I'm trying to complete the set. I'm not going to pay more for a common player, which now Randy Myers was don't get me wrong, he was an all-star closer. This guy was filthy, nasty, one of the nasty boys from the Cincinnati Reds back in the 1990 World Championship Reds. Great relief pitcher. He had some good days with the Mets early in his career, but he went on, he played for a lot of teams, Padres, Cubs, Reds, great career. Randy Myers was a great closer for many years. So I'm not throwing off on the guy. But what I'm saying is, am I willing to pay, just because this guy hates signing autographs, am I willing to pay as much for a Randy Myers autographed 88 Topps card as it would cost me to buy a Nolan Ryan autographed 88 Topps card? Hell no. to me, as good as Randy Myers was, he's not Nolan Ryan level. Now, yeah, Nolan Ryan signs for a fee, but Nolan Ryan signs for a fee because everybody wants Nolan Ryan's autograph. Nolan Ryan is a Hall of Famer. Nolan Ryan is a legendary Hall of Famer, one of the best ever. So, there's a reason that he charges a fee, and there's a reason that the price that it's going to cost you, especially if you're buying an authenticated. I would advise it. I would not pay that much for an if you're going to pay for a Nolan Ryan autograph. Um, you either need to get it, right to his foundation and get it signed by mail, or you need to buy one that's already authenticated, or buy one with the seller agreeing to have it shipped to PSA for you, like eBay does now, to where you can get it authenticated. I would not pay that kind of money for an autograph that wasn't authenticated. Especially that got too many people try to forge guys like Nolan Ryan. Even though he signs it, there's so much money in it to it. There's always forgers out there. But this guy was wanting that kind of money for a Randy Myers autograph. No, no, thank you. Now, yeah, there a premium, yeah. The average player like Randy Myers, it's a non-Hall of Famer that would basically see his cards fall into the commons bin. You're looking at autograph. If he was a guy that signed well through the mail, his autographs wouldn't be worth more than a couple of bucks, being honest about it, $2 to $3. If he was a good TTM signer, much like example, former Mets teammate of his back in the late '80s, it was a relief pitcher, Terry Leach, a very solid relief pitcher for a lot of years, not just for the Mets but other teams as well. Terry Leach signs very good through the mail. You can pretty much get any autograph card you want of Terry Leach. If you're buying it, if you just want to buy one instead of writing through the mail and waiting for it to come back, you get on eBay, you can pretty much buy Terry Leach autograph cards all day long from anywhere from a buck to $3. Pretty much even his rookie cards. So it's no big deal. But that's how Randy Myers cards would be if he was a good somebody that liked to sign autographs through the mail. Because he is a guy that does not sign autographs, never liked signing autographs. Um, it's not that his autographs aren't out there. It's just this is a guy that you got to catch him on a good day, and he's got to be in a good mood before he's going to sign anything. And he ain't going to sign nothing if you write to him. So it's just one of those guys that, yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more of a premium. But is his autograph worth $150? No, not even close. Is his autograph worth even $100? Not to me. One thing that makes me mad is a lot of people that works on certain sets. I've seen Randy Myers autograph cards from like 1990 Fleer or 1989 Donruss that they were selling for 15, $20. Now that's reasonable for a common player. That's not a good signer. But people asking Hall of Famer, deceased Hall of Fame. I mean, people want more for a Randy Myers autograph card than a Pete Rose autograph is kind of crazy. I know Pete Rose signed a lot, but Pete Rose is deceased now, and I mean, you can get a Ricky Henderson autograph, but cheaper than you can get. So what some people ask for Randy Myers, yeah, this is crazy like that. But it's supply and demand, as they say, But anyway, that stuff like that causes me to get out of the hobby. And when you've been around as long as I have, you either for me to buy it, it's either got to be a bargain or it's got to fit with my collection. And I'm not a guy that just buys anything or everything, anymore. But anyway, I'll try to be back again here within the next week with another video. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and uh, you know, I kind of just decided. I decided about a week ago I was going to do another video for the channel, and I just let these things as they come in. I threw them in a pile over here, and I really hadn't. I knew that I'd bought these things off eBay, but so I kind of knew that these were coming. But I'll be honest with you, it's been long enough since I bought these lots from Ron Harvey. I done forgot what they were. Like I said, I thought that was going to be Darrell Evans because it was a dress from Texas, and it was Larry McWilliams. Thrilled to get that back. And this was just something that I just came across and grabbed up. But anyway, again, thank you all for watching. Be back again soon with more videos.